Good morning student, I am Rose. Today we are in the second session of this chapter, that is Standard 6 History, Chapter 11, that is Traders, Kings and Pilgrims. So you are going to learn about the traders, kings and pilgrims. So in the last, this topic is also called the India's after the Mauryan period, India's after the Mauryan Empire. Okay. So as we know, in the last video you have learned about what are the kingdoms or what are the powerful kingdoms which emerged during the Mauryan period, and after the Mauryan period which are the kingdoms become so much powerful. Okay, so in the southern kingdom you learn about the southern kingdoms like say Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. These were the most powerful kingdoms. Okay, and what are the special features of that you learn about the last video. Okay, today we learn about the Deccan and the northern kingdoms of India. That means if we are going to learn about the North India. That we are going to learn about the North India. So the kingdoms which emerged after the northern India. Okay. So as we know in the northern India, the most powerful empire was the Maurya. Okay, so that means we can say this decline of the Mauryan period started after the death of the Ashoka. Okay, so as we know, when after the death of the Ashoka, his successors were not as powerful as the Ashoka. Okay, so due to that, what happened? The Mauryan Empire started to weaken or started to decline. Okay, so there were so many important small ruler kingdoms which emerged after the decline of the Mauryan Empire. Okay, so after the Mauryan Empire, what happened? This Piyush Mitra Shunga was the minister of a Mauryan Empire, and he was the chief commander or army commander of the successor of Ashoka, who was called as the Brihadratha. Okay, so this Brihadratha was the last ruler of Mauryan Empire, and this he was defeated by his own army commander, who was called as the Piyush Mitra Shunga. So when the Piyush Mitra Shunga came into throne, he established his own dynasty. He established his own kingdom. Okay, which was called as the Shunga dynasty. Okay, so this Shunga dynasty was founded by the Piyush Mitra Shunga itself. So this Piyush Mitra Shunga, we know who was he. He was the army commander of the Mauryan Empire, who works under the last successor, who was called as the Brihadratha. Okay, so Brihadratha was the last successor of Mauryan Empire, and he was defeated by his own army commander Piyush Mitra Shunga. And this Piyush Mitra Shunga, when he sat on the throne, he established his own dynasty, which was called as the Shunga dynasty. Okay, so he ruled. This Shunga dynasty ruled from 185 BC to 73 BC. Okay, so these are that means we can say around 112 years they ruled over India. Okay, and among them, this Piyush Mitra Shunga was very powerful ruler, and we can say and so much brave. Okay, and we can say he even defeated the Greek invaders. The invaders means the foreign rulers who wanted to invade India or come enter India for conquering it. Okay, so he defeated a very powerful Greek ruler, who was called as the Menander in 155 BC. He defeated, and the Shunga dynasty ruled over for 112 years. Okay, and the last ruler of Shunga dynasty was Devabhuti. Okay, and this Devabhuti was defeated by his own minister, who was called as the Vasudeva Kema. So this Shunga dynasty was also same as the Piyush Mitra Shunga defeated his own king Brihadratha. Okay, same thing happened in the Shunga dynasty, that the last ruler of Shunga dynasty, that is Devabhuti, was defeated by his own minister, that is the Vasudeva. Okay, Vasudeva Kema. So when he sat on the throne, he what we call, he established his own dynasty, his which was called as the what we call Kanva dynasty. Dynasty, we can say the it is we can say the people who rule generation after generation. His own family, his family or his or her family will rule after the generation after generation. So that is what the meaning of dynasty is. Okay, so this Kanva dynasty ruled from 753 BC to 28 BC. Around, we can say, 45 years they built. Okay, and you can say it was founded by Vasudeva Kanva, as we know. Okay, and you can say this last king of Kanva dynasty was defeated by a Andhra king or the Satavahans, who was the founder of Satavahan, Simuka. Okay, so this Simuka is also the founder of Satavahans. Okay, and he was the Andhra king. He was the Andhra king. Okay, and this Kanva dynasty mainly encouraged the Brahminical religion, and they even perform the rituals, sacrificial rituals like Ashwamedha Yajna. Ashwamedha Yajna, you know what is Ashwamedha Yajna? Yes. So this kind of ritual was being performed by this Kanva dynasty because they followed the Brahminical religion. That means you can say Hinduism. Okay. So this what happened due to when this Kanva dynasty also were not that much the successor were not that much powerful as this Vasudeva Kanva. Okay, but we can say this due to various revolt in different regions of India, what happened, this dynasty was reduced, that means this dynasty came in this dynasty or this kingdom became so much small, reduced into so much small what we call around the region of Magad. So this Magad was present in the Bihar, in the area where the Magad was present. Okay, so this dynasty, we can say this region or this Kanva kingdoms was what we call reduced to, or we can say they were not able to expand their empire, but instead of expanding, they reduced their kingdoms towards the Magad. Oh, okay. So as we know, this Kanva dynasty was defeated by the Satavahans or the Andhra king, who was called as the Simuka, and this Simuka was the founder of Satavahans. This Simuka was the founder of Satavahans, and they ruled from 28 BC to 225 BC. Okay, they ruled over what we call 28 BC to 200 BC. Okay, and we can say they were the most important successor of Mauryan Empire. They were the most important successor of Mauryan Empire, and we can say this. One of the important king, like we can say Gautami Putra Shri Satakarni was the important king, most powerful king of this Satavahans. Okay, and what we call, he ruled from AD 106 to AD 30. Okay, AD 30. Okay, and his this Gautami Putra Shri Satakarni expanded his empire from, we can say, Godavari Valley, then Maharashtra, then you have the Kalinga, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. Okay, then you have some part of Tamil Nadu. Okay, these are the areas where this Gautami Putra expanded his empire. That means during his time, he was so much powerful, and he was able to expand in this large area of India. Okay, large part of India. Okay, so we can say that this rulers, what we call Satavahan rulers, including the Gautami Putra Shri Satakarni, including this king, rulers of Satavahans were called as the lords of Dakshinapad. So all the kings who comes under this, who were of Satavahans dynasty, and they were called as the lords of Dakshinapad. Why? Means we can say, what is the meaning of this is the roads lead to the south. Okay. So this is how the rulers were. Okay, and we can say this about the Satavahans. We can find that means we can know about this Satavahans by the book written by this mother of this king. That means Gautami Putra Shri Shatakarni. Okay, so this king's mother wrote a book in which we can study about the Satavahans. Okay, so due to the continuous war against the Sakas, okay, these Sakas were a foreign rulers who came after the Indo-Greek, Greeks. Okay, so due to the continuous war against the Sakas, the dynasty became so much weak. Due to that, what happened? Due to the weakness of this dynasty, what happened? There were so many governors who under them who established the independent states. Due to which this Satavahan's kingdom broke down into many new kingdoms. So one may say the provincial governor established the new independent state, due to which the kingdom broke into many new kingdoms. Okay, so due to the decline or due to the weakening of the Satavahans, what happened? They started to these governors, because the governors were so much well aware of that. Due to that, what happened? They started to emerge, or they started their new independent states. Okay, so this is how the Satavahans kingdom was broken down into a different small regions of the kingdom. Okay. Next we are going to learn is the invasion from the northwest. That means who are the invaders who came from the northwest. Northwest means Pakistan, Afghanistan area. From there the so many rulers or so many invaders came. So many foreign rulers entered. Okay. First, okay, so we can say, as we know, when these foreign rulers learned that there was a decline of the Mauryan Empire, which was so much powerful during that time. Due to that, what happened? This foreign rulers started to invade, started to war against, started the battle. They started to conquer. They wanted to conquer this land. They wanted to own it. Okay. So first ruler who came to India was the Indo-Greek. Okay, they were the first invaders. Okay, and they ruled over the Bactria, that is the northern Afghanistan. Okay, and the famous ruler was Menander. Okay, you know this ruler was defeated by the Piyush Mitra Sunga, that you know. Okay, so he was the main leader of powerful leader of the Indo-Greek, and here for the first time the coin was introduced. In India, and there was so much we can say there was so much elementary that means Greek elementary in the Indian art. Okay, which came to be known as the Gandhara School of Art. Okay, so it is about the studying of different things. Okay, so they used to study in the Greek language, Greek element they introduced. So when they introduced this Greek element of art, this was known as the Gandhara School of Art. Okay. So and after that, what happened? This Indo-Greek were followed by the Sakas. And these Sakas were large part of Indo-Greek. Okay. They control. These Sakas were the very powerful ruler. Okay, these were very powerful ruler. Okay, and what they used to, due to that Sakas, what happened? The China Wall which you see now was built due to prevent this Sakas. Okay, so these Sakas were very powerful rulers during that time. Okay, so what happened when they were annexing, they were conquering the different part of the different countries in Central Asia. So they even went towards the China. But China, what they did? They built a Great Wall of China to prevent this Sakas. Okay, so what happened when the China prevented them from that? What they did? They came towards India. So after the Indo-Greek, these Sakas came to India and they covered large part of the Indo-Greek. Okay, and they ruled for 400 years. Okay, and this Rudradaman first was the most important and most powerful ruler of the Sakas. Okay, and he was a great patron of Sanskrit language. He was a great patron of. He was having so much love towards loving. That means he was very eager to learn the Sanskrit language, and he was knowing that. That means he was very enthusiastic. He was very able to learn the cultures and tradition of the India. Okay, even though he is a foreign ruler, but he took great interest in the language of Sanskrit. Okay, and he even worshipped the Lord Shiva. He was worshipping a Lord Shiva. After the Sakas, there came a Parthians. Okay, these Parthians were also very powerful ruler. Okay, after that, they ruled the northwestern part of India. Okay, and among the Parthians, Gondopharans was the most important ruler. Okay, so in this you can say in the next I'm going to tell you about the Kushana, the foreign rulers who invaded India was the Kushanas. Okay, so let us see the Kushanas. So next ruler who came after the Parthians were the Kushanas, and these Kushanas were the very powerful ruler during the later Vedic period after the Mauryan Empire. After the Sakas. Okay, so they extended the empire from the Khorasan in Central Asia, which is in now Russia, Okay, and to the Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, and part from the Iran and Afghanistan, and even the Pakistan and the North India. Okay, so this much large part of the kingdom, or this much large part of the land was under the Kushanas. Okay, and these all people and these all rulers ruled for 2000 years. They ruled for 2000 years. Okay, so if we talk about this, that means what are the important things the important works, or what are the things they do during the 2000 years. Okay, one of the two important cities which emerged during the reign of Kushanas was the Peshawar and the Mathura. And this, after that, what happened? First one was the capital, then later on Mathura became the capital. Okay, so these two were the very important cities of Kushanas, and this king of this Kushanas also issued the gold coins like the Indo-Greeks, Okay, and these coins were used by the traders who used to travel along the Silk Road. So what is Silk Road? During the time, what happened? This Silk Road or the silk was very famous. It was not famous in India, but it was famous in China. Okay, so when the traders used to buy the silk from the China, they used to travel through this Indian continent. That means from the North India. Okay, so due to that, what happened? This king used to take a taxes. They used to take a taxes. Why? Because instead of that, this trader used to get a what we call safety. They used to get a safety from the king. Due to that, what happened? These traders used to give the taxes as a gold coin so that they can have the safety from this case. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, so the most important king who was famous in Kushanas was the Kanishka. The most powerful king was Kanishka, and he is known for two reasons. First one is he started the new era called the Saka era. Okay, he started the new era. That means and this Saka era is also now followed by the Indian government. Okay, and next is he is known as the second Ashoka. Why is called the second Ashoka? Same as the Ashoka, he was the follower of Buddhism. This Kanishka was also the follower of Buddhism, and he did not acquire or he did not conquer the land with the battle or the war, but with the help of preaching it. Same as the Ashoka, he followed the method of conquering the land. Due to that, what happened? This Kanishka is also called the second Ashoka. Okay, so even he encouraged the Gandhara school of art, and this Kushana's ruler were also very interested in art and literature. Okay, so these are the rulers who came after the decline of the Mauryan Empire in the North India. Okay, I hope you will go through the YouTube and you will read your book properly. properly. Thank you for now.